it's Tina and I am back, and I am here with a brand new series that I want to bring to my channel that I am going to call the shopping block. You get it? It's a play on words, and it's a shopping block because we're blocking all the shopping. It's kind of a twist on an anti-haul, and it's kind of a mix of my buy or no buy list. I just want to make this its own thing. I want to have fun with it, put my own twist on it, instead of doing anti-hauls, which have become a big thing here on YouTube. And Kimberly Clark is back. So I'm going to leave her channel link below because I think she's going to have some great content coming up. So definitely check her out. And for this particular style of video, we're going to do what I always do, which is go through some new releases that have caught my eye, that I've probably checked out in store, swatched them, and decided on the spot if I'm going to buy them or not buy them. But in this case, I'm going to try to convince myself and you not to buy them, even though I kind of failed this time around because I ended up purchasing some of the things from this. But you will see that in an upcoming haul video. I will link the haul video over here and down below as well. But let's go ahead and stop mumbling and just jump right into it. The very first thing we're going to address is the hairy, glittery elephant in the YouTube room. And those are the Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics or Jaclyn Cosmetics nude lipsticks. It's the very first launch from Jaclyn Hill, who's an influencer here on YouTube. And it was a disaster. I will leave a card chat where I spoke about the whole fiasco. Apocalyptic over here, linked in the eye. Check that out. You'll hear more about what that is all about. But there haven't been many swatches and PR videos released at all because the PR packaging didn't go out, and then it turned into a hell of a shit show. So needless to say, I'm not getting anything from this launch, and I don't recommend that you get anything from this launch either. And if you are a fan and you want to support her and you want to try these out for yourself, no problem. Just wait. Please wait until they get it right, because right now it's a situation and we don't want anybody to get sick from these, to get injured from these, to get a reaction from these. Just hold off for a few months until the hairs have settled and we can kind of more or less consider these a little bit safer for consumers. So just give it a minute, but I ain't getting it. I'm not available. Thank you so much. Next thing, another lip launch. Jeffree Star Cosmetics. By default, I will never purchase anything from Jeffree Star Cosmetics. It's just a given. And that's not to say that they're poor quality or anything. It's just Jeffree Star himself, he is not the kind of person I want to support. He has a racist past. He has angry outbursts on social media. He attacks fans, like actual fans of his, supporters of his. He just goes off way too much, and that kind of person I just don't need to support. So without a doubt, I am not interested in getting his lip glosses. Add to that the actual photos of these. So he released swatches of these on the lips. Somebody did, lip swatches. These look tragic. They settle into lines. The colors aren't exactly wearable or colors that you would gravitate towards on an everyday basis. They are just out there, which his brand is out there, so I can see how it aligns with the whole direction of his brand, but like they aren't even flattering. So like they look bad. They just look bad, and the packaging just looks like Sailor Moon threw up on a lip gloss tube. It's just no. I am so good. Even if I was somebody who would purchase from him, just nah. It just looks tragic. Now let's go into a brand that I completely support. I think they're doing great, sweetie. Fenty Beauty by Rihanna. Now, I ride or die for Rihanna because she's an island girl. She's a black businesswoman that is dominating the industry. She came in and people were like, ugh, I can't believe when a celebrity is creating a makeup brand. They don't know anything about makeup. And I'm like, shut up. Shut up. If you can do it, if indie brands can do it, if these huge corporations can do it, why can't Rihanna do it? Like, stop hating. So she has been taking the industry by storm. A lot of her releases have incited change in the industry. Her foundation range, I mean, come on. Give props where props are due. So I am here to support Fenty. I will go out of my way to check her launches out. So I did. And she had, I'm going to talk about some old stuff because I did go ahead and swatch them in store. She has what is called, it's the Body Lava. It's a body luminizer, and there are 3 shades available. And they're limited edition, but she released one previously. I think it was Trophy Wife that she released. And then she has 2 more shades that she added for the summertime. This is $59, okay? It's a big bottle. It's 3 ounces, but it's $59. Hello? That's a lot of money for shimmering oil that you're gonna put on your body. It's beautiful. I actually went to see these in store. I swatched them on my hand, and they're gorgeous. Like, the shimmer is, oh, so beautiful. I do think that these are gorgeous accessory products for the summer, but for $59, you can get a body oil and put your own shimmer in it. Like, get a cheap loose pigment from like the drugstore, from NYX or something, maybe a little bit of fine glitter, and mix it in your body oil and do that. You can do that for probably $10 to $15. You can definitely do it for under $20 and do your own body oil. I'm gonna actually do my own because I like the look of it, but I am not available to spend that money for it. So if you want me to do a video on how to create your own concoction, let me know, because I can do that. It's a great look for the summer, I'll admit. But $59, I was intrigued. Like, if it was $35, I would have been like, okay, but it's so much product for such a high price for something that I'm gonna use a couple of times this year. Like, I'm not gonna wear this every day. I'm gonna wear this if I'm going to a special event or like a beach party or something that I want to be extra on the glow. I'm not gonna wear this every day, so I don't need to spend 50 what now? Nah, stop that. And then she released bronzers as well. Now, I did pick up one of the bronzers. I picked up Caramel Cutie. I will show you the shade swatched on my arm. It's cute, you know, I understand what she was going for, but these aren't good to me. It's just, I don't have the pigmentation that I need from them. It doesn't show up on my skin. I have to like go in and really build it up, and that's not worth it for me, especially at the price point. But I know some people are like really loving them, and I'm wondering if there's like a placebo effect. So it's Fenty, it's Rihanna, you're proud of her, you're excited for her launches, you're excited for her products. But does that translate into them being the best products? Because these are not the best bronzers on the market. The Cover FX bronzers, the duos, those to me are much better. So yes, I celebrate Rihanna, I'm a fan, but I can call a spade and say these are not great bronzers. They're sheer, you have to build them up, and they're higher priced. So I'm gonna, that's a skip for me. Thank you so much. She also released, this is more recent, liquid liners in like pastel and bright shades, which I thought was fun. They're in sets of 3. The set of 3 is $35. They're a smaller size, so you're not getting a ton of product. And these again are limited edition. They're the Vivid Liquid Eyeliner Trios. I swatched these and the colors are fun. But what I know from colored liquid liners is that the opacity has to be on point, because they won't layer up and give you the color that you think you're getting. You see the tube and you're like, oh, it's a bright blue, but you have to layer and layer and layer it to get the payoff. These actually have pretty good payoff right out the tube. You probably do have to put like 2 layers on, but nothing crazy, because I would layer up a black liquid liner anyway. So layering up a colored one is not that big a deal. Here's the issue with these. They're colorful, and a lot of them are pastel, which kind of almost inherently causes these to fail. Because they have that white base or that like pastel base, they crack. They settle into lines. So if you have lines on your lids at all, just forget it. They're gonna settle into lines. So it's gonna look good for like the first 15 to 30 minutes, but then it's gonna dry down and it's gonna crack. It's a good look for Instagram, sure, but if you intend on this looking great and walking out and about and be like, oh, I am that bitch, probably not, because the white, the yellow, the pink, the light green, the blue, crack. The most beautiful colors out of this, I would say, are the violet looking blue, like it's a really gorgeous like cobalt blue, the dark pink shade, and then the darker green. But even those still crack under pressure. So you can skip those for real. And if you really wanted to try out like a liquid liner like that, get one from NYX. We're blocking that. No, you don't need these. They're fun things that you're probably gonna wear very rarely. Like you might get a couple of uses out of it this summer. They're liquid products, they're gonna go bad, and it's $35, and the actual effect isn't gonna last because they crack and they don't look that great. So you can skip on that. The next thing she released is the Poutsicle Juicy Satin Lipstick. These again, she released for the summer. These are fun, these are bright, these are $20 a piece. They contain 0.1 ounce. It's not a lot of product. It's really not a lot of product at all. And these are in fun poppy colors. Now, I was interested in these. I wanted to definitely see these in person because I'm like, oh, come on now. I swatched them. They had decent pigmentation, but at the same time, they have like a little bit of a sheer formula. So to make them really look good, you're gonna have to use a liner. Otherwise, they're gonna kind of sheer out. And I feel like these shades aren't gonna work well on darker skin tones, just because they're more of that pastel-y, like the pink, the purple, the blue, they're pastel. Even the orange, or I'll be honest, I tried out one of the shades on my lips. I went in when they had just released it, so it was brand new out the tube. I sprayed it down with alcohol. I used my finger instead. I didn't apply it directly to my lips, and I put it on my lips, and it didn't look good, the orange shade, because that's the one that I would think of getting. It just looked funny on my lips because it wasn't opaque, and then because it is that color, it sunk into all the lines and creases, and then it wasn't good for layering. It didn't look good. So these are a skip for me. I am good on this. And then the Sephora collection, they released sheer lipsticks that are much better. Don't go for sheer and pigmented because it's just gonna look a little bit off because it's pigmented but it's sheer. And then go for the Sephora ones, and they have fun colors too. Those look like popsicle lips. Those look like the effect that I think these were going for, which they look glossy and juicy on your lips, like you just had a popsicle and you put a little gloss over it. It's really pretty, the Sephora collection, and I think those may be under $14. So you're saving money, you get more product, and it gives you a better look. So if you really truly wanted to try out a formulation that gives this effect, like the glossy, juicy, stained effect, try out the Sephora collection. So that's it for Fenty. I'm cheering Fenty on. I did pick up a couple of products, but like the last couple of releases, I haven't been really interested in. Now, next on my list is the Juvia's Place foundation. So they released foundations and concealers. The only things I was able to check out in store were the foundations, and they came out with 42 shades, and they have really dark shades because of course Juvia's Place is a black owned brand. They cater towards darker skin. There are shades for lighter skin tones as well, but their focus, as it should be, is for darker skin because we don't get that from the huge brands. So if our black people are gonna do it for us, then I am here for it as well. So I want to support Juvia's Place and check out these foundations. I see like a couple of shades that could match me. I swatched the shades that match closest to my skin tone to show you guys. So you can definitely see if there's like a shade that would work for you. They're $20 a pop, and it contains 1 fluid ounce. So you're getting a full ounce in it. Some people made comments about the packaging being small. Like they're like, oh, I got it and it was so tiny, but it contains 1 ounce. You are misleading people by saying it's so small because it's going to give the impression that you're not getting a ton of product, which in truth and in fact, it's just a smaller container with the same amount of product. It's using less plastic, it's less wasteful, but you want to make a comment that makes it sound like a negative. I don't appreciate that. I think that is bullshit. And for all those people that happen to be Caucasian that are making those comments, stop it. Stop it. The packaging is small, but you're getting the same amount as a regular foundation. So don't let them tell you that and deter you. It's $20, and I do believe the $3.50 off $15 coupon at Ulta works on these, so you can check these out in store. I think I'm gonna try this out for a couple of reasons. One, to support a black-owned brand that is now in Ulta that we should be celebrating. And I am curious, and it's Juvia's Place, a brand that I want to support. I want to test it out. Like, they release foundations. Like, how fun is that? So I wanna try it out, and I also want to try out the concealers. So I'm gonna see what happens with that. We will see how that goes. Now, there's a new mascara from Too Faced that I'm interested in. It is called the Damn Girl Mascara. My favorite mascara is the Too Faced Better Than Sex. So I am already intrigued because I know they can do a great formula. So now I'm like, oh my God, is this better than Sex? Because if it is, I'm available. And the one looks similar. It's still an hourglass shape. They call it an infinity shape, but really it's still an hourglass. I want to test this out. I want to try it out. I hope they do a sale or they do minis or something, but I definitely think I want to check that out. So that's on my radar. It's on my list of things to do. I probably am gonna get that. Thankfully, there haven't been like a ton of products that have caught my eye. Very few products have, but eyeshadow palettes are probably my weakness. So yeah. So I went in store at Sephora and they had a full display of all these new releases. And I was like, oh my God, I have to check them out, all these new palettes. So the first one I saw was the Dominique Cosmetics Rustic Glam Eyeshadow Palette. This retails for $44 and there are 12 shades in here. Now, Rustic Glam, it just didn't fit whatever that they were going for. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand like how Rustic Glam got into this, because Rustic to me is like browns and oranges and like maybe greens, but not this. Okay, Dominique Cosmetics is from Christian Dominique, also an influencer here on YouTube. That doesn't change a lot for me unless she's problematic, and she doesn't seem to be problematic at all. In fact, one of her palettes had issues and she was on it. Like, she halted production, she checked out what was going on, she fixed the issue, she sent out new palettes to customers that made purchases without even asking. She sent them palettes, and she's, you know, she lived through that. And I commend that, because she wasn't pussyfooting around, oh, I don't know what's going on. She actually said, yeah, you're right, crap, I have to fix it, and she remedied the situation. So I think she did great with that. This palette, however, there are oranges in here, and she has like a lemonade palette that already has oranges, and then she has this bright blue that's the interesting shade in the palette, really beautiful. But then other than that, there are a couple of shades with shimmers in there, like the light blue, the black. I don't like glitter in eyeshadows. There are only 2 true shimmer shades that weren't that impressive, and then there are a couple of pinks. I didn't like the color story for this, and I didn't think it was impactful enough for me to get it. And at $44, even though I think her formulation of her mattes, it's great. I have her lemonade palette, no, her latte palette. Yeah, the latte palette's the one I have. The lemonade was the one that had issues. I just don't feel drawn to this palette. It's not interesting enough. And then she has a couple of iris in there that everybody has, and nobody wants a black with shimmer. So I think she could have done like a better job with this, because it wasn't very impressive. So I think you can skip this one, wait for something else to come out, or try her latte palette. I think that has been her best release so far. But I've heard great things about her lip products, so maybe try that out, or try out something else from the brand if you wanted to support her. But this palette I can skip. Now, another palette that I saw that I was very intrigued by. I saw it online. I was like, oh my God, on Instagram. I was like, I gotta see this. This is from Jouer Cosmetics. It's the Tan Lines Matte Shimmer and Luxe Foil Eyeshadow Palette. Listen, the foil eyeshadow palette from Holidays for Jouer, fantastic. Oh my God, I recommend that palette wholeheartedly. It was so good. So with that, I was like, all right, let's see what they came out with this. It's $34 and it contains 10 eyeshadows. They're neutral and colorful shades. And this was hella disappointed. don't get this, skip this. Oh my God, this is so bad. The colors are so sheer, like they take so much to build up and pick up. I'm just like, what the hell happened? Like, this is such a failure. They're so thin. There's no pigmentation. There's no creaminess, nothing to them. They're just, it's bad. And all the neutral shades. So there's 6 neutral shades. You have those in your collection. There is nothing special about this palette at all. Skip it. I'm not even gonna spend any more time on this. Just don't even get this palette. It's trash. It's low-key trash. Don't get it. Don't waste your money. Next up, okay, all right, NATASHA DENONA. If you watch my channel, you know me and NATASHA, we don't get along. Her brand is one that I won't buy from on principle. Not because her products aren't like exciting to look at. Like every time she does a release, I'm like, will this be the one that changes my mind? But I will not bring myself to support her. And it was a personal attack on me, so I have a personal vendetta. Anyway, she released a new palette, which I think was a good release, okay? It's the Sunrise palette, which is a baby sister palette to the Sunset palette that she already had. So the good things about this for me are the size and the price. So she made the size smaller than her regular palettes, so you get less product, but you still get a decent amount of product. It's still about the size of a small eyeshadow, like one from MAC or Urban Decay, like a single eyeshadow. It's still that size, so you're getting product for your money. And now it's $65 instead of $129 or $125. How much are her palettes? It's $125 or $129. I mix up her palettes and Pat McGrath palettes. But this is $65. Definitely a more approachable price. This is something that people can probably save towards. It aligns with some of the other palettes in Sephora. So it's not a palette that you would say is crazy outside of a price range that is typical in Sephora anymore. And I think the color selection is decent. She has some nice mattes in here, some nice shimmers, and they swatched pretty nicely on my skin. So I'm not even gonna act like this wasn't an intriguing palette. However, I feel like some of these shades we've already seen in her palette. So if you're an avid collector, this may not be for you. And I also feel like she's riding on the warm train that has already been over for a while now. We know the warm palette trend that ensued for years. I don't even know how long we had that warm palette trend with oranges, yellows, warm browns. We've had that. And like by now you probably own palettes that have a similar color story. I have palettes that have a similar color story. And her palette is not one that would drive me to get her specific one. There are a couple of yellows. Yes, there's a mustard, but I have those already. There's some peachy tones. I have those already. And for me, for this palette, the selling point would be the shimmer shades, which are fun. And I think her shimmer shades are beautiful, but it's just been done already, you know? And I don't see that I'm gonna get a lot of diversity from this palette. Like a lot of the colors are very same. There are a lot of like cranberry shades. Your looks are gonna look very similar. And I've seen people do like 3 looks, 4 looks with this palette, and they all look so similar. So if this is your vibe, it might be something for you to check out, but it's not my vibe. She's not my vibe. And the shade selection, I just feel like I have it 3, 4, 5 times over, and there's nothing special about this. So I'm good on this, but I do think her new approach with the smaller palette, the better price and less product, I think that was a good approach for her. The next palette I checked out in store is the Melt Cosmetics Impulsive Pressed Pigment Palette. This one, I was laughing at this when I saw this online. I was like, what the hell is this? What is Melt doing? So Melt is now available at Sephora. They're sold online and they're in select Sephora stores, which I think is a great accomplishment. So kudos to them. Congrats. I have Melt stacks and I have, I think, the Gemini palette, but I haven't purchased their other palettes because I'm not like that impressed by their formulation. I'm not that obsessed with their products where I'm going to spend the price that is required for them, because online only, they have expensive shipping, their palettes are expensive. I was just like, I can't even swatch this in store, I'm good. So now that they're in Sephora, I think they're going to be more accessible to a lot more people, and I'm excited for them. So this Impulsive palette, it's an 18 shade palette and it's $65. Now apparently this is a inspired palette. It's inspired by the early years of the co-owners, their friends, Laura and Dana. So it has cool tone shimmers and holographic foils and bold mattes along with vivid shimmers. And I was hesitant about this because, like I said, I've tried out their shimmer formula even in their palettes, and I just wasn't impressed. And some of their shimmers, like from the Smoke Sessions palette, and there was another palette that was released, they were having trouble with stability, so they were popping out of the palettes, that were cracking, they were breaking. People got damaged palettes. But again, you're in store, so you can check to make sure that you're not getting a broken one. And the design of this threw me off because it's two-sided, so it folds over on each other, which is a mess waiting to happen. And then it's staggered, so it's steps. And it's just, the design is bulky. It was unnecessary. However, I swatched this in store, and this is nice, guys. This one is nice. Like, I can't even block this one from your shopping cart because I really like it. I know some people say the color scheme is ugly, and I can see that. Like, I'm not even going front, like, it isn't a little bit ugly, but it's not until you use it are you gonna realize the combinations that you can do. So they have all the eyeshadows in sets of 3, so there's 6 different trios. They have a green one, like a red one, a more bronzy one. Then they have shimmery foils that actually are really smooth. Well, not really smooth because they're like chunks of shimmer to them, but they apply really nice on the skin. It doesn't flake off or anything. That's what I mean about being smooth. As smooth as this kind of shimmer can get. But they're not popping out of the palettes. They're not cracking and carrying on. Like, they apply nicely, and I think they're really nice, and the mattes are smooth as well. And this palette's nice. I actually think I'm gonna get this palette. I'm really intrigued. The color story is fun for me. The shimmers apply nicely. These are shimmers that I can pop on the lid, smoke out. I can do all kinds of things with that. If you need like a blend-in transition shade, like a neutral shade in your crease, like a skin tone shade, you're gonna need to pull from another palette. If you need a bright inner tear duct highlight, you're gonna need to pull from another palette. And if you need like a dark smoky shade, this is an accessory palette. It's not a palette that is gonna be a standalone palette. I like it, but I can see how other people wouldn't like it. It's not exactly a palette that is beginner friendly, but I feel like at the same time it can be because they're in trio, so it shows you what shades coordinate, and then you can mix and match as you choose. I like it. It's $65 though, which is steep as hell. That's the only block for me, and the palette design too. I shouldn't say that's the only, there are 2 things, the price and the palette design. But I would choose this over the NATASHA DENONA palette. Same price point, same amount of shades, and same amount of product, like similar amount of product. So, and then last up in my window shopping spree were the Huda Beauty neon palettes. She released 3 neon palettes in her little 9-pan palette design. I have all the other 9-pan palettes, including like the gem ones, the jewel obsessions. These are neon obsessions. So again, there are 3 different palettes, 3 different themes. There's like a pink one, a greenish one, and then a peachy one. And I wanted to see these because I wanted to see if I wanted to get on the neon trend, right? To see if this is something that I'd be intrigued by. And Huda Beauty, she's somewhat problematic, but I like her palettes for the most part. So I wanted to test these out. Now, the thing I'll tell you about these palettes, the shimmers are problematic. They are more like toppers. They're not like your run-of-the-mill shimmer shades. You're gonna need to really dig in there to get product up. And they get like sparkly all over the place. They're sheer. I'm just not intrigued by the shimmers in these palettes. The mattes are the things that would draw me in. But for the green palette, like the 2 greens, the 2 matte light greens in them are so sheer and so similar. I'm like, why would I get this palette? And then that palette has majority shimmer shades. So it's a fail. You can skip the green one. Then the purpley one, it's pretty, but again, a lot of the shades look similar. There are a lot of shimmer shades in here. You have the mattes that were kind of sheer. They didn't really build up well. They weren't good. They were not good at all. So again, another skip. But the corally peachy one only has 3 shimmers in there. And then the mattes, she has a yellow, orange, like a bright pink. And I think these are pretty. And only 2 problematic shimmers. One of the shimmers is actually smoother. So I think I want to get this one. I'm not sure. I feel like with neons, you kind of should just stay with indie brands for that, because indie brands do colorful shades and neons really well. So it's almost like just save your money for an indie brand because they're worth it and they do fun collections. So I'm thinking about it. I may get that neon one. If you see it in a haul video, just know that I really liked it and I was thinking about getting it. So that's it. Those are all the things that I checked out in store. Those are the things that I have my eyes on, and I wanted to share them with you guys. So again, you're gonna see this series pop up on my channel every now and then. It's not gonna be like every week or every month or something. It's just as I see products that pop up that intrigue me, that I want to check out, products that I can go in store and swatch for you guys and get like an initial impression, like, are they good? How's the color story? How's the packaging? Do they swatch well? How's the pigmentation? I want to feel the product, see the product. So it's like taking you shopping with me, and I love doing that. So that's what we're gonna do for these videos. So if you are interested, definitely make sure you subscribe and stay tuned. Again, I will leave the playlist linked below. I will also go ahead and leave a list of all the products mentioned in this video down below in the description box, along with links to Sephora and Ulta where you can pick them up. Those links happen to be affiliate links that I have generated through those websites. I'm not directly affiliated with any of the brands or Sephora Ulta for that matter, even though I would like to be. So there's no bias for me. It's just an easy way for you to give back to the channel by purchasing through my links, because I will get a small sales commission. If you're not comfortable with that, just shop the way you normally shop. No muss, no fuss. But if you do shop through my links, thank you so much for the support, because again, it helps me to put right back into the channel. I will also go ahead and leave links to my Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat where you should be following me along, because I get into fun things. I post swatches. I'll show you like things that I'm doing, vacations, all that stuff. So if you want to keep up with me, definitely follow me along there. And until my next video, which will be very soon, I'll talk to you. Bye, guys.